Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the best legend for each role on the team. The meta has kind of shifted a little bit and some people might be wondering what's the best option for their given role, so don't worry, I've got you covered. But just quickly, if you guys are really looking to take your Apex skill to the next level, you have to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there we have top level coaches creating the best, most highly informative guides to make you the best player you could possibly be. We have made literally hundreds of guides covering legend guides, gun guides, VOD reviews, and much more. No matter what you struggle with as a player, we have a solution for you. So don't delay, click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, and start to improve today. But okay, with that covered, let's hop back into things. And for those of you that are a little bit confused what I'm talking about when I say roles on the team, there are three main ones. There's your entry fragger, your secondary fragger, and your support. Now legends can fall into multiple different roles, like a legend can be a good entry fragger but can also be a good secondary fragger and vice versa. But other legends are also stuck in their roles and they can't be anything else. Like if you take Watson for example, she can't be an entry fragger. She is a support legend through and through. And I do also want to make this clear, the support role in game, like the support class, doesn't necessarily mean that that legend is a support role in game. Loba is the prime example of this. Loba is actually a secondary fragger on the role in her team, but she is in the support class role. That can be a little bit confusing, so I just wanted to clear that up. So when I do say support, I'm not talking about the actual in-game class, I'm talking about the role on the team. But now that we're covered, let's move into the first role, and that is going to be the entry fragger. Now entry fragger does have a few very viable options right now, but honestly the best option for the role is going to be Bangalore. Now going into season 21, Bangalore did receive some nerfs with her class passive perks, and also the digi threat is no longer a ground lootable optic. So she did get a nerf somewhat in that way, but it also was a buff because now it's not a 50-50 when you put a smoke down if somebody's going to be able to see through it or not. Now when you put a smoke down, you will know that somebody's able to see it because they have to have a seer or bloodhound scan or bloodhound alt or something like that. You'll know if they're able to see through your smoke. So that makes fighting around your smokes and using your smokes a lot more consistent. But on top of that, Bangalore is really just strong overall in the meta right now because the meta is very aggressive. It's very aggro. People want to roll up on you and just kind of dominate the fight, control all aspects of it, and Bangalore does that very effectively. Being able to cut off line of sight, being able to corral people with your ultimate, being able to stall pushes with your ultimate, being able to push off your ultimate, it's very multi-tool-esque, and Bangalore just fits into basically every single team comp. It doesn't matter if you want to play edge or zone, Bangalore can do it because Bangalore is just good at all stages of the game right now. Though if you are going to be playing Bangalore, I will recommend that you really need to learn how to use your smokes now of all times, because using your smokes are going to affect your team a lot more often. A bad Bangalore smoke can mess you up way more than it can mess the enemy team up. If you cover yourself with a smoke and you can't see what they're doing and they're able to reposition for free, you just lost your team the fight single-handedly. Bangalore is one of the biggest examples of if you're a bad player with them, it's going to highlight it perfectly well because your team is just going to get messed up way more often. So 100% you need to be understanding line of sight breaking as Bangalore, and really just be a little bit more sparse with your smokes if you're not sure if it's going to mess your team up. But that is our entry fragger done, so let's move into the secondary fragger role. And I'm going to be honest with you guys here. Secondary fragger covers the vast majority of the legends in the game right now. We do have a pretty wide variety of legends, but they do mostly fit into the secondary fragger role, so you have basically your pick of the litter. And because it's such an extensive role, I am going to be covering two different options here. One is a more info-driven one, and one is a more aggro-driven one. So to start off, we have the information driven one, and that is obviously going to be Bloodhound. With the changes that have come into Bangalore and the changes of the digi threat not being on the ground, Bloodhound has just gotten even more useful. Bangalore is still a very frequently seen legend, and Bloodhound just counters her perfectly well. Doesn't matter if she wants to throw a smoke down because you have a scan and you have a free digi threat on your ultimate. You can see through the smoke, you can see through debris, you can see through so much stuff. You're also hyper aggressive when you're in your ultimate because you do have that speed boost, and depending on the class perk, you're either getting health back when you knock somebody or you're extending the ultimate's duration. So you can just be super aggressive while you are in that Bloodhound ult, and if you do have a Bangalore on your team, you can ask them to smoke you so you can play around that and just really mess the enemy team up. But even if Bloodhound doesn't have their ultimate, they still have the scans that they can use in a fight and get your team a lot of information. Understanding where the enemy team is playing at a certain point in time in a fight can be very crucial. You can know if people are walking up on you, you can know if people are trying to take certain off angles, you can know so much information just off of one Bloodhound scan. It is very strong. Bloodhound has almost always been a staple pick in Apex because having free wall hacks in a fight is very, very strong. I think the only time Bloodhound wasn't super meta was when the Seer meta was going in place, and that's just because there was a better scan legend, but scans in fights are always a good option. Now that is the information sided one, so let's go for more of the aggressive sided one, and that is going to be Revenant. Revenant is just the epitome of an aggressive secondary fragger right now because of just everything in his kit that's designed to want to fight. Being able to take high ground on a whim with his passive almost silently is very strong. You can climb up on people that are looking down on you, you can take different off angles in fights, you can deny certain areas, you can get certain lines of sight that other people can't get. It's very good in a lot of different situations. Revenant also has a very solid engage or disengage tool built into his tactical. It doesn't matter if you want to push or run away from a fight, you have that option. And also if you're taking the class passive where you do get the reset on a knock, you can jump in, knock somebody, get the finish when somebody's low because your passive allows you to see when people are low. And then once you get that knock, you just jump back out to safety and re-engage once everything's back on your side. It's just very aggressive and very strong. And also his ultimate, it just turns him into a raid boss. Now there were some changes going into season 21 where he can't be conduit queued while he does have his ultimate activated, but honestly that's not really necessary for Revenant to be strong. Don't get me wrong, it was a very strong wombo combo with a Revenant and a Conduit, but Conduit is just strong overall for being able to reset fights mid-fight, but Revenant can also reset his ultimate and also get a lot of options out of his ultimate without a Conduit, so having a Conduit was just a cherry on top, but without that, it's still a very strong option. If you're looking to just push everything and anything, Revenant is going to be the best option for the aggressive secondary fragger role, so that's why I'm putting him here. But now we can move into the support role, and this is the backline defense. These are the people that are really holding it down for your team, and they're trying to be the ones to make it so you don't go down or you're able to reset fights fast. Now right now the fan favorite support is Lifeline. Everybody loves Lifeline right now. She has one of the highest pick rates in the game. I think she's actually the second highest pick rate at the time of me recording this, but in all honesty she's not the strongest support. The strongest support is going to be Newcastle. Newcastle has everything you need from a support built into his kit. It doesn't matter what kind of style you want to have to play because he can do it. He has very strong denial with his ultimate now, with the upgrade that it did get now being energized for a lot longer, and also the energization is going to be able to intercept incoming grenades, so it's going to be a lot harder for people to nade out a Newcastle. He's also able to put down a mobile cover, so if you want to push a team, he's able to do that with the mobile cover being able to just help you get a little bit more aggressive without taking as much damage. And he also has the strongest revive in the game. Having that shield in front of your teammate helps them not get thirsted, and you can bring them out of their really horrible positioning because let's be honest, your teammates always have bad positioning. And while you're reviving them, you just move them into a better spot and say, hey, let's play here from now on. Now, despite how strong Newcastle's kit is, a lot of people don't like to play him. He does have one of the lowest pick rates in the game. But if we're being honest, pick rate is not a very good indicator on how strong a legend is because Newcastle has been one of the strongest legends in the game for season after season, but because his pick rate is so low, Respawn just keeps buffing him. I don't understand why Respawn keeps buffing him because his kit, it was just absolutely overpowered and now it's even more overpowered. Now some people might be wondering if I'm talking about the revive being strong, why would I not recommend Lifeline? And that's because Newcastle does something that Lifeline doesn't, and he prevents his teammates from going down. Lifeline's whole thing about her revive and her kit is just basically helping allies get back up after they've been knocked. But a good support legend helps your team not be knocked in the first place, but also is able to reset fast if they do get knocked. Newcastle has as many walls and his good revive, Gibraltar has his bubble and his fast revive, Caustic and Watson have the area denial, so if a team is pushing off the knock, then you can have that reset ability, and Conduit makes it so that when you use your tactical on your team, they get that shield back and it's harder for them to go down in a fight. Stuff like that is what makes a good legend in the support role, the ability to make sure that your team doesn't get knocked in the first place, but also if they do get knocked, you have some good reset ability. Yes, Lifeline does have her dock drone, but it's not as strong as the other options. That's why I'm recommending Newcastle, because he does have such strong denial deniability for his teammates to not go down in the first place, but if they do go down, he has very solid options to help reset the fight and make sure that they're able to get back in without being thirsted. But let me know your favorite legend for the roles in the comments down below, and if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. Thanks all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming. I'll see you guys in the next one.